and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant. Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Suson Essentials on the Female Solutions Blog Talk radio show. Learn how to help your body and yourself feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jodi Suson. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Well, Grand Rising, everybody, and thank you all for being here. We're very grateful to have you. We are on air, and we are. You can listen to us on Blog Talk Radio. You can listen to us on Podbean, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then you can catch a replay everywhere and anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. So, I'm really excited, because what day is it? It's the first Tuesday of the month. So who do I get to have on my show? My girlfriend and soul sister, the Rockstar Coach, Michelle Froedge. And without further ado, ching, hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good. Sunshiny.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting month. I haven't seen you for a month.
I know. I have been traveling. You have been traveling. We've had a lot of things going on and a lot of good things. So I'm very happy to be here. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been a month already.
Yeah. How did that happen?
I know. We must have quantum leaped.
So yes. Yes, and yes. And I'm so excited about the topic, mindset reset, because, I just came back from Orlando at the Holistic Lifestyle Conference, and my presentation, I was a speaker there, and my presentation there was about shifting your mindset to reclaim your health. And one of the things that my husband and I did on the way down, I know you know this, but the rest of the universe doesn't know. I'm finishing up my studies with Dr. Amen with Amen Clinics, which is a brain health clinic. And, I learned some very cool things about the brain, about the development of the brain. And not only does it allow us to reset our mind and our thinking about how we heal, but then it also gives us an opportunity to have more grace for people who are not doing well. And for me, that was a huge thing. I learned grace real fast. Like, I thought I had grace, and I'm going to tell you I didn't. And I know none of you do, until you know this. So, but that's just the teaser. I'm going to let you start and tell me, what have you, Michelle, what do you think is the most profound way that you helped yourself do a reset on your own thinking in any area of your life?
Wow. Well, there's been a couple of really big things. I'm gonna talk about this one first. I have been a vegetarian now for 13 years. Ooh. I want to say 13 to 14 years, somewhere around in there. And for me, it was cold turkey. No pun intended.
Pun intended.
And for me, what it was truly a mindset shift. And I read a couple of books, and I learned, because I was ignorant to all of the practices that are done in traditional mass produced meats. And I'm very.
Do you want to talk about what those traditional mass produced meats look like?
Well, a little bit of the picture would be, the treatment of the animals, which was my main reason for shifting my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The other, which for me was a byproduct, because for me, I was not in a space where I was primarily thinking about health first, because thankfully, I have always been a healthy person. So that wasn't something that I was looking to improve at the moment. But I was very interested and concerned about animal welfare. So that took precedence. Now, secondarily, the byproduct, or the benefit, the secondary benefit for me, was all of the hormones that they put in meat. All of the other chemicals, all of the chemicals in what they feed the animals. The list just goes on and on. So all of these things that are being,
like Skittles, like Skittles.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, like red dye number 4 that's in those Skittles. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. So all of this stuff that, and in this case, it was, being put in the animals, then in turn, we eat that. So we ingest all of that. And, it just makes sense when you look at not only the diseases that have permeated, especially the American population, not so much in other countries.
Right, because other countries, their cereal and stuff is completely different than ours. Like they don't have all the toxins. But yeah, please go.
Not only their food, but their other products. I mean, makeups and cosmetics, skincare products. The list goes on. But so that's kind of a quick overview of. I just finally decided, and I'll never forget, I was on a tour bus heading somewhere for a gig, and I had taken the book with me because I had already finished one book and I was finishing the second book. I literally on the bus closed the book when I got done, and I got off the bus when we arrived, and they had snacks for us or whatever, and like a meat and cheese tray and things like that. And I was like, I'm done. I literally did not touch meat again. I mean, intentionally. I'm sure that I have ingested things that has had meat products in it that I was not aware of through the years, but very minimally. And I started to, understand what types of things have hidden meat products, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, what kind of things do you have? I'm pulling something up on Facebook, but what kind of things have hidden meat products in it?
Oh, well, a lot of restaurants, for instance, will add meat, especially beef and chicken, really, but flavoring, and they do that so that it has more of a salty flavor, or whatever the flavor is that they're looking for. So instead of using a vegetable stock, they will use a chicken stock or a beef stock. So one thing that I was very surprised about is when I would go to a restaurant and I would order macaroni and cheese. I love my cheese. and I love pasta. And so that was always a go-to for me, especially as vegetarian, because a lot of, you can add vegetables to it, etc. Well,
So
one
what's
of
the
my
difference between vegetarian and vegan for those people who don't know?
vegetarians eat cheese and milk, and eggs.
Okay.
Vegans do not eat any animal product, meaning anything that was even produced by an animal. So vegetarians just don't eat the animal itself.
Got it. And vegans won't eat anything that even comes from an animal.
Correct.
Okay. I get it.
Correct. Yep. Even honey. So think about honey is produced by an insect, and true vegans don't eat honey.
Well, that's ridiculous. You need that for your immune system.
Well, not everybody believes that. So
and that's okay. I mean, it's just a little talk. Sorry, trigger. Go ahead.
We're working through things as we speak.
Yes, we are.
So, and a lot of people in the beginning of my vegetarianism, a lot of people were concerned. They thought, oh, well, you need meat. Well, not every blood type actually needs meat. Now, don't ask me what my blood type is, because I really honestly cannot remember. I know it's terrible. But
my blood type needs meat. I'm O positive, and so is Andrew. And if I don't have meat, and of course, I do it responsibly. I won't even eat lobster anymore because of the way that it's, it comes to
prepared.
Prepared. Thank you. Although, there are different ways it's prepared. And if it's prepared properly, it's okay to eat. But anyway, it's another day. But no, I get you. It's go ahead. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. So that just I learned a lot, but going back to the mindset shift of it, I literally closed the book and I was done. And so for me, that mindset shift was automatic. And it was because, and we've talked about this on here before, it was because I had a big enough why. I had a big enough reason that was emotionally, I guess,
driven,
ingrained
in
me.
Driven though, because you have to be heart-centered to make a change like that.
You have to be ready for one thing. And you have to know that no matter what, no matter that when you see that filet mignon with crab Oscar sitting on the table that somebody else has ordered and your mouth is watering because it smells so delicious, you have to remember why you're choosing not to eat the meat.
Well, and in that vein, Michelle, sorry, I'm inviting people to the show. So in that vein, that's how I was when I gave up chocolate and I gave up all caffeine and I gave up anything. I had to give up 135 different specific foods that were causing inflammation for my body. So my why was, I don't know, wanted to live, didn't want inflammation anymore. And then like you, I didn't, I did a little differently. So I didn't give up all meat. What I gave up was meat that was irresponsibly produced, right? And including fish that was irresponsibly produced, or any food item that was irresponsibly produced. And so that means saying no to the chocolate cake that's being served at the birthday party.
Right.
It means saying, I gave up chocolate for 5 years because my body couldn't handle any bit of caffeine whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so we have an opportunity to really shift our mindset and choose differently. Right?
Yeah.
And it takes time to think these things through. Right? Like, right? Simon Sinek.
Yeah, I think, honestly, you were asking what were some things that I shifted my mindset on and how did I do it? And if I'm just thinking about all of the things real quickly in my mind, every single one of them is attached to a why. Because if it's not, anytime we make a change, anytime we decide differently from the way that we have been living or acting, reacting, whatever that is, it takes, there has to be a catalyst for it, right? There always has to be a catalyst for change. And so it just has to be something if you want the change to last. And some changes are temporary, right? Maybe we're losing a particular amount of weight to go to a family reunion or, a wedding or whatever that is. And perhaps after that, then we, kind of lighten up a little bit. So those things, there are sometimes temporary changes, but if we want a change to last, or even in the case of losing a few pounds, to fit into a dress or something like that.
Well, and I would say that the temporary change, Michelle, is based in fear. Yeah, fear of being at the wedding and looking fat, right? Not looking good. It's my opinion, but yeah, not necessarily true.
There could be, yes, there certainly could be some fear around it. Another thing is, you might have already purchased the dress and it might have already been altered. And if you don't lose the 5 pounds, you're going to have to buy another dress or, it's just not going to fit. So,
well, if you grew up with my mother, which I know you didn't, but you know about her,
I did not.
She would take any dress and fix it. Seriously.
She would just add material to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, okay. It was wedding dress. She would do that with wedding dresses. Yes. And my sister, when she got married the first time, I think she was a size 22 and the dress she liked was a 14. So
that's a pretty big difference.
Well, not for my mom. So no, seriously. So let's say you have your bodice, right? And here's your waistline. And it's scrunched up right around the waistline, right? So, and then it flares out. So she took the waistline off, right? Flipped the waistline. The bottom of the dress was now the top of the dress, right? And the top of the dress was now the bottom. Dress fits.
Awesome.
So think out of the box, mindset reset.
Yeah.
I had a cool mom.
Probably not all dresses would be able to do that, but that's amazing that worked for your sister and that your mom had the capability to do that.
Yeah. And honestly, we had Rosa do it, which was the seamstress from Italy, but who was working with my mom at her bridal store. So
wow.
Yeah, my mom was cool. Just gonna tell you. She was the epitome of mindset reset, right? Oh yeah, we can do that. Let me figure out a way.
That's funny that you say that because it's interesting because a lot of entrepreneurs are like that, right? They have learned or they've taught themselves, to just say yes, say yes to opportunities because and we could go down a whole different avenue on this and we won't do that. But, they've learned, okay, if I just say yes and then figure it out, I might find something else that I'm really good at, or, it's that can be a fear too, right? That they're afraid to let go of the money that could come to them if they're able to do that. So it's a difference of staying in your lane versus, oh, sure, I can figure that out. But, I've learned a lot by saying, oh, I can figure it out. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
You co-create with the universe, right? I mean, Yeah, I think that, yesterday, so for those who don't know, it's not like it's a big thing, but I broke my wrist, but I did heal it pretty quick. And I don't have a ride to the doctor's office on Thursday. So Michelle was saying, there's Uber Health, right? And basically Uber will pick you up and it's free. What I found out was that it's paid for by the doctor's office, right? Okay. So this is going back to what we're talking about. So I called the doctor's office last night, and the woman who answers the phone, it's like she's a receptionist. She goes, "Yeah, I don't think our office is going to want to do that." I said, "So I'm sorry. Did you just say you're making a decision for the operations department of your organization?" She goes, "I don't think they're going to want to do that." I said, "I'm sorry. Did you just say that you are making a decision for the operations department of your organization?" And we both repeated ourselves 3 times. And then I said, "Are you realizing we're both repeating ourselves and you're not listening to what I'm saying? You're making a decision for the entire corporation about whether or not they want to use Uber Health." I said, "Do you have the authority to do that?" And she goes, "Well, maybe you should call back tomorrow." I said, "Maybe." Because people are, and this is about mindset, people are geared to go to no. So the ACG in the brain, it's called the gear shifter, right? And it's hard for people to get out of no, not everybody, but people with this certain brain health issue. And they automatically go to no. They can't find people right. They can't get to yes. And they actually, you eventually can just shift the thinking if you actually acknowledge the fact that you are going to know. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I was thinking of people pleasers because I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I thought, that's not me. my tendency was always to go to yes. But yeah, I can see that where I was a people pleaser, the opposite of that is also true, that there are people foreign to me, but people that automatically say no. Although it's not really foreign to me. I do know of some people that automatically are defensive, or they automatically think, oh no, this won't work. When somebody gives them an idea, just immediately, nope, it's not going to work. It's like, well, have you even thought about it? It could, so yeah, I can see that. That's interesting. And it's all in your brain.
Well, it really is. And what I want to shift for people, I want to talk about brain health for a moment, because mindset reset, right? So Andrew and I are listening. For those who don't know, Andrew's my husband. And Andrew and I are listening to Dr. Amen. Oh, let me get a Kleenex here. And he's talking about the neurons in your brain, and he's talking about the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is a fatty tissue that covers the neurons in the brain. And when we're born, those neurons are not covered. And so the first 4 months of our development is back here in the occipital lobe. And we then start to have better eyesight and can see well and may have discernment. Okay. And up until we're 25, it goes all the way from the back of the brain all the way to the front, to the prefrontal lobe. Now, I'm just going to pose this question. It's not like I'm expecting anybody to have the answer. But what happens if we're playing football, soccer with our head? What if you're me and you fall out of, you trip coming out of the horse stall and you hit your prefrontal cortex at the age of 7? By the way, everybody, I'm going to tell you something. I always thought I was stupid because I couldn't repeat anything anybody said to me. And so did the rest of my family. So what if you had a traumatic brain injury at the age of 16? What if, and the list just goes on. What if somebody hit you? What if you just tripped and fell? I'm going to give you the list, right? So what that means is that myelin sheath isn't covering all the neurons. And that limits your ability to learn from your lessons. Yeah, WTF. Now, I'm more than confident that even after 25, you can get that myelin sheath back to grow. No doubt in my mind. Haven't gotten to that part, but I also already did the DI work on myself and on my husband and on Fagala. Because Fagala, who, my parrot, she was very ill at 7 weeks. So her myelin sheath isn't covering her neurons either, because she doesn't learn from her lessons. All in the family. Right?
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so now when you have somebody who doesn't listen and learn from their lessons with you, now you can have a shift in your mindset. Are you going to judge them, be pissed at them? Are you going to be annoyed, whatever word, take it personally, right? You're going to take it personally? Or you can think, maybe they have a brain health issue that translates to a behavior. Because this is not really discussed in mainstream. Brain health issue translates just something as simple as knocking your head or getting punched or tripping. Or, what if you're one of those people that rock? I had a sibling who used to rock and he would bang his head against the wall. What if? Yeah. And what if that person really isn't as mean and disrespectful as you think they are? And maybe they have a brain health issue.
Yeah.
Shift that.
Yeah. I think, for me, it always comes back to, and not that I always thought about the brain health portion of it clearly, but I always did think, and still do, we are all on our own journey, and I am not perfect. And though
I'm close though, girlfriend. Just saying, because I love you.
Well, thank you, but I must disagree with that.
Okay, I know you're not perfect. Don't get me wrong. And I know. So what?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just tend to think kind of like, in the Bible where it says, who are you to throw the first stone, or whatever that, is, whatever that verse is. But it's like, yeah, I can't really say anything, or I don't feel like I should say anything or feel a certain way. And of course we're human. We're going to, we have feelings and we have emotions, and, we get them hurt and all of those things. But at the end of the day, if we're mature enough to do so, and sometimes people, it's not even a matter of maturity. Like you were saying, Jodi, it's like, it could be a brain health issue.
Which actually technically is maturity, because the brain didn't mature.
Right, exactly. And those lessons that, so many people learn throughout their life, perhaps they weren't able to be learned because of, the injury or the trauma or whatever that was. So I tend to kind of err on the side of, well, I don't know what has gone on in their life. Or even if I do feel like I know what's gone on in their life, who am I to judge how they react to something? It's, we are all unique for a very particular reason, and we can learn from everyone, even those that
Piss us
have, right. Those are the ones we typically learn the most from. Those that trigger us, we typically learn, or if we allow ourselves to, we can learn the most from them.
I agree. Andrew and I are twin flames, and which means my soul split and created his soul like 80 generations ago. And we came back here in this lifetime to get triggered and clear those triggers and heal with each other. And once you understand what a twin flame relationship is, that you're here to heal with each other, you can stop fighting. Right? I mean, really, you can stop fighting and just be, right? And start learning from each other, giving each other grace, and helping each other heal. So, yeah, and it was interesting. So it's 8:31 and we're supposed to go to commercial. So I'm going to do that, but I'm also want to say that Fagla has a lot to say today. She's downstairs, like singing her tune. So, what I'd like to do, is I'm going to go to commercial, right? And then what I'm also going to ask you to do, because I have to go downstairs and get the girls, is talk about ways in which you have helped yourself or you've helped others, because you read Akashic records, right? And it doesn't have to be Akashic records. It can be anything you want, that you've helped others shift their mindset.
Sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to, actually, I'm going to run the 30-second commercial first. Then I'll run the female solution promo, which is a minute. And after the 30-second, I'll run downstairs because they'll give me more time. All right.
Okay.
And then you take the show.
Jodi Suson.
With our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jodi Suson. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Awesome. Okay, so, well, you are back. And there's a birdie. So we are talking about mindset reset today. And one of the easiest, I'll say easiest, and it's not easy for everyone. And this also goes back to brain health, because I have learned that not everyone is able to meditate. So I love to meditate, and I literally can do it for hours. It calms me down. It gives me peace. It gives me clarity. I receive messages and guidance, et cetera, et cetera. And this is a lot of what I teach my clients to do on their own, because, I can help them in a session with me, but then what happens when, they're on their own? So meditation is one of the ways that I teach people to reset their mindset. So, Jodi and I were talking in the middle of the day when something happens, because, we can be going along, everything's great. You started out your day wonderful. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, everything's wonderful. And you get into your office and the coffee is perfect and, everything is great. And then the phone rings and you pick it up and it's an angry customer or client or whatever that looks like for you in your business, right? And we can be triggered just like that. And if we don't have the tools or use the tools that we do have, sometimes we can start spiraling down into a rabbit hole, right? And it can derail us for the rest of the day if we let it. But if we acknowledge that, if we're aware of that, and we stop ourselves, bless you.
Thank you.
We stop ourselves by using our tools or a tool that we have learned, like meditation. It doesn't have to be that we sit there at our desk, in our cubicle and, we're chanting Om, for
right.
Here. It literally can be a quick 5-second just shift, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath. One thing that's super easy is taking 5 deep breaths. As deeply.
And how do you do that? Because everyone does it a little differently. So why don't you share how you do?
I like and this isn't possible for everyone either, because if they have sinus issues or respiratory issues, but this is how I do it. I breathe in through my nose as deeply as I can, and I open up my belly. So because I'm a singer, I have been taught to breathe through my belly instead of just the chest. But if you just breathe in your chest, that's fine too. It's however you're getting that deep breath, okay? So I breathe into my belly, and then it goes into my chest through my nose, and then I exhale through my mouth and I let it all out. And when I do that, I'm visualizing, especially on the out breath, I'm visualizing all that trigger, all of the negativity, all the whatever came in when I was on the phone with the client who was upset or whatever. I'm imagining that being released from my body, moved from my body. And then on the inhale, I'm envisioning all sorts of other things: peace, calmness, all of the good things that we want in our life or our head on a daily basis. So that's what I do. And that's a very simple, quick thing that you can do anywhere, even in the car while you're driving in traffic. That's a good one.
Well, when I do that breathing through the nose, first of all, if you do have a sinus issue, which I had when I first started, and I didn't have this when I first started, I used essential oils. So I used you can use peppermint, and just, that'll help clear the nasal passages. Spearmint. You can use Ravinstara. You can use the blend by doTERRA, which is called Breathe. And you put it like in the palm of your hand and breathe in deep. You can put it on your chest. You can put it by your temples here. Try to keep it away from your eyes. They won't like it. It won't harm it, but it just doesn't feel good. And what I like to do is breathe through each nostril. See, that one's a little congested. This is a little obstruction going in there. And when you get air to the brain, actually, it really calms that brain down. I would encourage people to try this. Just close one nostril and then the other. And it just, I'm doing this because I need it right now. I got my excitement back. I was pretty sick for a couple months, and we don't have as many people watching the show today, which is sad for me, but it's really because I wasn't showing up for the community, doing my show regularly because I was so sick. And because one thing I am is dependable, but I'm also committed to self-care. And so I had to pause and pull back for a little bit. So, I encourage you to continue. If you're listening to this now, I encourage you to continue listening to the show going forward and to support us in supporting you, and know that unless I'm sick, I'm here, so would love to have you guys learn from myself, Michelle, all of our really cool guests that have these little nuances that we don't necessarily think about when we are trying to self-heal. So
yeah. And Jodi, I'd like to take a moment and say this, because we are talking about mindset reset, and a lot of people, and I'm going to say this because, again, recovering people pleaser here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of people, even as sick as you were,
Mm-hmm.
would have said, you know what? I've made this commitment. I'm going to be there. They would feel awful. They would not be bringing the best. They actually could do more harm than good,
Right?
Because their mind is not in the right place because they are not healthy, and then they could cause themselves more harm health-wise. And I think it's important to be able to give ourselves permission, and that is a mindset reset for a lot of people. Not everyone
It's a huge mindset reset for me. Huge.
Yeah.
Hon, I once went, this is like, I was in my 20s. I had a flu and I went on an interview and I'm sitting here in a suit and he goes, "You came here sick?" Yeah. And I'm sweating literally head to toe, beating down sweat, but I showed up for the interview. And of course I probably made him sick and didn't get the job. But what are we doing and what are we saying? I think that's a form of self-abuse.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think that, if I had gotten online when I was that sick, y'all would not have liked who showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to say I was the big B.
Yeah.
I had 4 brain tumors. Sorry. Basal ganglia, pituitary gland, both temporal lobes. By the way, do you know what temporal lobe? Do you know what that controls? Your temper. Temporal lobe controls your temper. I was a bitch. You don't want me online. Just going to tell you. I'll be the first one to own it.
And so good for you to understand that your health took precedence over everything, because if you didn't heal yourself, if you didn't do what your body needed you to do to take care of yourself, you might not be able to be here for all of us every single week going forward, right?
Well, and God would have given me another lesson. What part of self-care don't you understand?
Yep.
Right? So then I would have to deal with that crap again. I'm not doing it twice.
Yep.
It was my lesson.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really good lesson for a lot of us to learn, because we can very easily push through,
Mm-hmm.
when we really should not be pushing through, because we need to understand that it is not selfish to put ourselves first, especially when it comes to health.
Totally agree. And I want to explain something about the brain. So I don't know if anybody's ever seen a SPECT scan, and I thought I had one on here. I don't. I'm going to see if I can look one up, which I can. SPECT brain scan. So let's go to image. So the scan of a brain, I think this might be one. Yeah. So we're going to do a healthy brain versus Alzheimer's disease, which, by the way, Alzheimer's can be detected like 10 to 20 years in advance. I think it's 20 years in advance with this scan. And it gives you an opportunity to shift your diet so that you don't have to have Alzheimer's. And just because you have the gene doesn't mean you have to have the gene expressed. Right?
Yep. Right.
All right. It's called science-based nutrition. So
Wow.
This is a healthy brain versus Alzheimer's, right? So what these pockets are right here, okay, are the parts of the brain that is not receiving blood flow. Okay. So, like that. So these are the parts of the brain, because I think I'm hearing some cognitive dissonance. This is a healthy brain. This is an unhealthy brain. The brain is still there. The meat, your flesh is there, but the holes are representing where the brain is not receiving blood flow. And so if you're not receiving blood flow to that part of the brain, you're going to have an issue that shows up as Alzheimer's, ADD, like all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I want to tell you, and I have permission to share this. My husband, he had his scan done, and it was really interesting because he had his scan done because he worked for Amen Clinics. And right before the scan, we were both exposed to black mold. Okay. And so they focused on the black mold that showed up on the scan. Nobody ever said he had ADD. I'm like, you guys kind of missed that because I'm doing the training and I'm looking at the scan and I'm looking at a scan for someone who's ADD. I'm like, he has ADD. Well, now I know what he's got. I can help him. Right? No big deal. So, my friend Rajai Kaldani, he introduced me to a really amazing man who I met in Orlando. His name is Jeremy Freeman. And Jeremy Freeman was a bodybuilder, but not like any bodybuilder. He was international in scope, right? And he's also a biochemist.
Oh.
And he created this formula called the Freeman formula. And it's a little tonic. It comes in a small bottle about that big. And you really only need, depending on who you are, a quarter of the bottle, half a bottle. Okay. So we had Andrew take that. That formula sends blood flow to the parts of the brain that aren't getting it. The problem was other people got it too. So he was a little hyperactive. The same. Let me see if I have it here. I don't. Well, we also used it in conjunction with my BOD, which is that sound frequency device, precision sound frequency. After 3 sessions of the BOD and using his formula, Andrew's symptoms of ADD are gone.
Wow.
Just gone. Of course, I also did divine intervention work on him for the myelin sheath because he had a TBI. He was punched in the face, all those things. So clearly his myelin sheath was not, I don't need freaking x-ray for that. We know that his myelin sheath wasn't fully covering the neurons. We're like, crap. I'm like, well, that's an easy button. Boom. Right. So, but the point is that this man created this formula that fills in those holes. And so they're doing an EEG an EEG on it. too. So they're going to measure it and show it, like what it does. And then they're going to also
Amazing.
And they're going to do it with the bod too. Like here's the
Amazing.
Freeman formula, and then here's a Freeman formula with the bod. Because the bod's just going to clear that pathway to make it permanent. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know, and that's why I said, like, we just have to have grace for people. You know, we have to have grace. We don't know what they've gone through. And even if we know from a story what they've gone through, we still haven't walked in their shoes. And look how calm she's being today.
I know.
So I worked on her. Yeah, I worked on her neurons last night, and the myelin sheath.
Yeah, she's just chilling.
She's gonna start making a nest out of my hair, though. I know it.
Yeah. But that's just bird stuff.
The still bird.
Bird stuff.
So, you know, the thing is that it's just really cool. We have such brilliant minds at work in this world, and you don't give up, you know, whatever it is that you have that you need to shift your mindset. But I will tell you this, one of the things that helped me, and it is back there. I'm just going to show it as a screen because it's just easier right now than having to move. But what's really been helpful for me in shifting my mindset was using sound healing, which is the bod. And because what it does is it puts the brain in a theta state, right? And the theta state, for those people who don't know what that is, it's a state of healing. It's a creativity, right? So that's what your bod looks like. But they use it for accessing the subconscious mind. We sleep with ours, Andrew and I. We go to bed with it. And you can retrain your brain, right? And so it's, to me, like here's Zelda. She released the feeling of being unlovable, and use it for, you know, addictions and PTSD. But what was really cool, and I don't think that you know Zelda, if at all. Michelle, have you ever met Zelda?
Not in person. She has been she's called in on the show, I believe, but that's the interaction we've had.
Yeah, so Zelda bought one of my bods in 2020. And we're, you know, halfway through 2023. And when somebody is spiritually awakening, you know, their voice gets deeper. Have you noticed that or no?
I haven't. No.
You'll
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been aware of it, but now I'm.
Andrew, I noticed it with Zelda. I noticed it with so many different people, but maybe that's just me noticing. But she uses it religiously. And I've seen her metamorphose in a way that it's not easy to do. And she's done it. And I know it's because she's using that bod, you know, because it's she now doesn't have this reactionary approach. It allows her to stay centered and balanced. It, you know, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can hear it in her voice. Like, you know, I don't always get to catch her show. Her show's every Monday morning. You know, we both like to sleep in.
Yep.
But she's amazing.
I like to stay up late, which is why I like to sleep in. Good morning, Chris. Yay.
Good morning, Chris. How are you, beautiful? So it's 8:54. We're going to go to commercial soon. I mean, how have you used Akashic Records? We've got a few minutes before we go to commercial. I'll let you go first, and then I'll share. How have you used Akashic Records to help people reset their mind or your own?
Yeah. The Akashic Records are so cool to use. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things, and typically I do it, I'll say intuitively, but I'm guided in the way that I do it. So it can be different in every session, depending on the person, and what I'm guided to. But in general, I will ask that the past, all of the past, so that's past lives, that's other timelines, dimensions, all of that, anything that is happening up until this now present moment or that has happened, be cleared as far as whatever it is we're working on. So say it's just very recently, I helped someone who, I helped her with overeating. I'll just generalize it. Helped her with overeating. So that was a mindset shift, right? And
how did you do that?
It was super cool. And I'm going to say, I did not do it. I was the facilitator. I channeled this, and God and my guides just said, here's what you do. And they did it. It was mind blowing, the results. So basically, I was led to clear a mindset, and it truly was a mindset that had been in her family line for generations, where her great grandfather was obese. And so he had this particular mindset around eating and around food. And so we erased all of that. And so then if you think about it in a very elementary way, if you were to erase everything in the mind that the mind says about food from your family line, then guess what? Guess what's not passed on to you in your patterns and beliefs and what you're taught, right? You're not taught to overeat or to eat junk food or whatever that is. You just have a very healthy then mindset around food. And so that's what we did. And then going forward in her Akashic Records, I also was able to clear anything that may have been residual going forward. And this gives her a clean slate, so to speak. And so the body that she is in now and the mindset that she now has, and what happened, and this was really, it was really cool. Not everybody's going to think it's cool, but she really thought it was amazing, was that after we did all of that, after the session, she thought, you know what, it was like Mother's Day or something, and they had like cinnamon rolls, and so she had a little bit of a cinnamon roll, and almost immediately she started to feel sick. So she stopped eating it. Well, then the next day, there was something else, and I can't remember, some sort of junk food or something, and it just happened to be there because she still had the food in her house, right? She just didn't have the craving for it. But whatever it was, she ate a little bit of it, and immediately it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick.
Yeah,
she took everything out of her house. She then went to, Whole Foods, and she completely redid or, bought all new foods. And since then, she has not had sugar. She has not had anything that will make her body sick, because it shifted her brain, and her brain now is starting to tell her, ooh, this food, this kind of stuff makes me sick. And it has turned into a physical reaction. And so that is just a portion, just a little taste of what the Akashic Records can do. And it falls right in line with, the mindset, because because that's what I was doing, was bringing in that, clearing the old mindset and bringing in the new mindset. And that's all we have to do. But boy, it's not easy if we try to do it on our own, is it?
Well, what did Spirit tell you to do? I'm curious, to help her reset her mind or shift her mindset around sugar and all that stuff. You just cleared the past, or did you also insert something new?
I literally was a channel. So I can't tell you what was coming through.
Right,
Now, I can tell you, yes, I cleared the past. I know that that's what I was doing there. But for the future, I really honestly don't know. I literally had my hands up, and well, I had this hand up because this is like the now, like starting now.
Right, yeah.
And then this was kind of this way because this was future. So I was bringing in whatever Spirit wanted to bring in for her. And that's where the mindset shift came to say, and I was not aware of this because I guess I kind of went, I don't want to say unconscious, but I just literally was a channel for it, and it just flowed through me. So I wasn't even consciously aware of the energy that was flowing through. I just knew it was a positive energy because that was my intention, right? And God was doing the work, not me. And so whatever that was told her, it shifted her brain to say, no, this, and this is going to make me sick. Therefore, when I eat it, I will be sick, and then I will not want to eat that anymore. And that it's been over 2 weeks.
Sorry, I apologize. Keep going. It's been over 2 weeks. No. Sorry. No, what I'm hearing is, so I had to shift my mindset around food because I was obese.
Yeah.
And what I did is when I went to the grocery store, I imprinted a skull and crossbones on things that were toxic. So I imprinted that on them. I don't even look at them. They don't even appeal to me. Yeah. And what I'm hearing from Spirit, if it's okay to share about what they did with you and her, is that okay? Okay.
Sure.
That yes, they cleared the past, and then they inserted like the new thought form, like whatever it was, you guys created a new thought form for her, inserted that into her. Of course, she had the experience which confirmed reinforced the thought form.
Yes. Yes,
Brilliant.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. And I love that. I really truly do love that. I can't necessarily, I can explain what likely happened based on the results, but I love that I wasn't even consciously aware of the new that was going in, because that to me proves to me, and if it doesn't prove to anyone else, it doesn't matter, proves to me that I am a channel for this work. And I did not know, pure transparency, full transparency. I had never done that before. She didn't come to me for that purpose, but in the session it came up, and then I heard, we can clear this. We can take care of this. You can help her with this. And I was like, we can? Like, I've never done it before.
Why not? Here's the thing. That food, what I'm hearing, I don't know who this person is, right? I'm just seeing them through your eyes, but the toxicity in that food was causing depression for this person, and she wasn't able to carry on. So will she lose weight? Yeah, absolutely. But weight loss, like for me, wasn't the issue, even though I lost almost 100 pounds. weight loss is just a physical manifestation of toxic free living, right? That allows you to have happiness, peace, joy, and, like that. And harmony.
Yes,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah. And I think
her events, and that's exactly, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I saw her last week, and she's like giddy. Like it's really, if you can picture, like I saw her and it was like she was like bouncy, but not physically, but I could see her energy, her aura. It was just like like light and excited and like free, right? From this, and this feeling. She was free from that oppression of the toxicity and the food and the mental anguish that goes along with being overweight and not being able to control your mindset around certain foods and feeling helpless, right? She was free of all that, and it was so beautiful. And I'm just like,
yeah, you can't miss that. And Fagla has something she wants to say because she's nipping at me. So let me hear. And then we're supposed to go to commercial. Can you wait? She says no. Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk to you. Now, let me listen to you. Okay. What is it you want everybody to know? Well, I was going to talk about that anyway. Fine. So she wants me to talk about my anger issues. So, and back to brain health. So I fell at the age of 6 or 7 out of the stall. Okay, could you not? I'm talking. Don't bite mommy. I'm doing what you want me to do. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, then pause. So it made me an angry person, deep-seated anger from when I was 6. And when I met this man in Orlando, his name is Dr. Doug Lair, and he's a doctor of chiropractic, and he's like me, a quantum energy healer. And he does things a little differently. And then we combined our skill sets, and he worked on me on the table, and he pulled out the anger. But it was all stemming. He's like 6 years old, right? And it's when I hit my head. And so then 2 days later, because it takes time for integration, all of us went out. There's like probably 8 of us. We went out to this Greek restaurant. And as we're waiting for the table, I kind of break out into dance. Like I start dancing like in public. And I was like, look at that old lady. She's dancing. I'm like, I'm not that old, but okay. And so what I'm saying is that if you have anger issues, depression issues, you can access the Akashic records. You can access the quantum field to clear all of it or any of it, like whatever you're willing to release. And, or any thought form. If here's a really important one. I have a relative, not a sibling or anything. And this relative said, oh, my father had, well, now we know who that is. But anyway, no one else does. My father had a brain tumor. Grandma had ovarian cancer. Now I'm going to get cancer. Well, she just put it out in the field.
Cancel.
Right? Cancel. And so this is a belief system. I don't know. I mean, if I had a nickel, if I had a freaking penny for every single time someone said, my family member had this, now I'm going to get this. It is not true. Most of that is a belief system and a pattern in your brain.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that pattern is an unconscious thought that's running your life. 95% of your thoughts are unconscious. Let that sit with you. 95%. This is not made up. This is science. We know this. Ask Mahatma Gandhi. Go talk to him or listen to him, whatever. Yeah. So, but it's true. And so if 95% of your thoughts are unconscious, don't you want to bring that to the conscious mind and be in control of your own thoughts?
Yes.
And then man, greatness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so Chris is chatting here. She says, so much to be found in the Akashic records. I was literally blessed with a car 2 hours after meeting Saint Filante in the records and clearing trauma for someone else.
Amazing, Chris.
Yeah, and subsequently, this family started coming together. See, this is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think people are, I think people are afraid. I've encountered this, and it does not bother me at all. In fact, I welcome it when people question, what we do, Jodi, and Chris. I welcome it because, number one, at least they're curious enough to have the conversation. And a lot of it is just because they don't understand. So there's fear around the unknown, right? I didn't know about this stuff before I, awakened and, took a course. And there's still so much more about all sorts of things that I don't know, that I want to learn, that I'm open to. But that's really it. It's just about being open to the possibility. Have you experienced it yet? Maybe not. But if other people have, then allow yourself the opportunity to be open to it. Now, I will say this, use your discernment. If you get a certain feeling that does not feel right or good to you, use your discernment. It might not be for you, and that's okay. It also doesn't necessarily make it wrong for someone else. And I don't want to go down that whole path, but I will just say that. So the Akashic records, as we're talking,
maybe we should go down that path. Maybe we should talk about the fact that you don't want to stop someone else from living their own journey. Nor should someone else try to stop you or push you into a journey that you're not comfortable with at that point in time.
Right. Yeah. And just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's not true or that it's evil or whatever. Now, is there evil out there? Abso-freaking-lutely. Everywhere. It's everywhere. But that's where discernment comes in. And again, we've talked about this, many times on your show, is using your own intuition, listening to your body, listening to your gut, right? And if it doesn't feel right for you, then don't explore it. It's not for you.
Yes. We need to go to commercial, and there's something coming through, but I can't hear it because I think I need a moment. So I'm going to go to commercial real quick. We do have a comment beforehand. She says, owning up to your own bitchism is boss lady temperament. You had to have it here with us so we can recognize in ourselves. Teach. I don't know. So thank you. I love you, Zelda.
I love that. Owning up to your own bitchism.
Well, and she's such an inspiration to me. I don't know if I love for Zelda. Actually, Zelda, I should have you as a guest on my show so people can tell your story. So you can tell your story to people. I know you have the show off on Monday, but you need to share this on my show because your journey to me, I talk about you all the time. I don't know if your ears are burning or not, but anyway, let's go to commercial real quick and we'll come back and I'll have my message, whatever it is. All right. And Fagala is like, she's exploring all the the technology devices this morning. All right. So let's see what we got here. There we go. Hi, I'm Jodi Suson with Suson Essentials. I started Suson Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Suson Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses, and we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Suson Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing. Oops.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jodi Suson. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
All right, we are back. You know, one of the things I know we, both Michelle and I and anybody else I haven't, we're always like educating. And one of the things that I failed to do is to invite people to connect with us outside of here. And it's not a very good skill set of mine. So I'm calling myself.
We forget.
Really, my desire is to make sure you're getting the best experience as possible. But if I don't invite you to subscribe to Michelle's emails or her YouTube channel, or subscribe to my YouTube channel or my emails, which I don't do a lot anymore. But if I don't invite you to do that, then you're not going to get the value that you need when you need it, because I believe in divine timing. And I don't send out a ton of stuff either. I just do when I'm called to by God. So with that being said, Michelle, would you share how people can subscribe, right, to your emails?
Yes.
And then you have a YouTube channel, right?
I do, but they don't need to necessarily subscribe to it, because if they sign up for the newsletter, they get the link to my weekly messages and meditation through the newsletter. So just one-stop shop is
Cool.
great. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, I just put that in there.
Okay, so
I just now
what I invite you all to do, first I'm going to put in the comments. I've got a rogue bird. Here we go. That's the first thing. So go to www.rockstarcoach.org, org, rockstarcoach.org. And
a little pop-up will come up, and just put your email in that pop-up, and you will then get the weekly email. It comes out every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, and it has the weekly meditation that I channel. Plus, I started doing a weekly message, so a guided message. And so you get access to that too. And the reason I say it's not necessary to subscribe to the YouTube channel is even if you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel, you won't get the weekly messages because those are private. Only my only email subscribers get the weekly messages. You can get the meditations, but the weekly messages are private to the email subscribers. So make sure to go subscribe to that.
I love that. You're brilliant. So let's do that. And then I want to also, come on, Jodi. Here we go. So I'm going to put it in as a banner as well. Actually, I think as I should have. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. And then, I wonder if this is a ticker. So you can schedule a free consult with me and call, email. I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It makes it easier for me because when I have these live shows, you can then get a notification from YouTube that I've scheduled this show. And then you can just get that in case I'm not doing an email that week. So, okay. And so the other thing that you can do, if you go to my website, which is Suson-Essentials.com, and I'm just going to show that. Present, share screen. All right. All right. So you cannot be on mommy's hand, not the one that has stuff going on with it. Okay. Okay. So can you all see? Yeah, you can see it. So this is my website. And when you go down to the bottom of any page, it doesn't make a difference. You can download my book, Informed Choices, which is a part of the anthology, Overcoming Mediocrity. And you can, when you download it, which you can do PDF, ebook, PDF or audio, you will then be subscribed to my emails, which then allows you to get notifications and things like that. Okay. So that's kind of the ticket there. It's the easy button. And what I'll do, I'll click this and put in the free download. So you see Informed Book, $0. And I will put that in the thread. So that's a free download there. And there it goes. So there's your link. Okay. And I would be grateful for whatever suits you to either download the free book and get it via email, subscribe to YouTube. That would be awesome. Follow Michelle on Facebook at the Rockstar Coach. She's also on LinkedIn now as well.
I don't use it very much. Facebook is my primary, but I do understand that LinkedIn is a place where a lot of people are that are not on Facebook. So I'm starting to migrate over there a little bit more.
So, I had LinkedIn before I had Facebook.
Well, I had LinkedIn for my previous career. I used that quite a bit, but I did not start out with LinkedIn for this career for whatever reason. Well, I just wasn't into it.
Say though about that is I serve both the corporate community and I'm business to business and business to consumer, and so I serve both. So it's important for me to have a presence there and to take time to educate people on what's available to their employees in terms of mindset, in terms of healthy eating. I have a healthy eating program, the functional food program. So there's so much opportunity to grow your mind. And, we grow our mind, I think, when we take care of our physical body.
Absolutely. And goodness, I mean, for business owners that have employees, having them learn how to take care of themselves is, I mean, it's just smart business, because if they're healthier, they're not only going to, you know, not have as many sick days and whatnot, but they're going to enjoy their life more. They're going to be, you know, happier in general, and happier people do better work, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's smart. So if you're a business owner, I mean, do something for yourself and your employees. You know, have Jodi come in and, you know, do a workshop, or get the functional food program, you know, subsidize that for your employees or something. I mean, there's so many different ways to do that. It's just smart business.
Thank you. You know, I want to talk about the very last slide on my presentation at the Holistic Lifestyle Conference. I'm not bringing up the slide. Maybe I am, actually. I just told I can do the last slide. Yeah, I'll do that. So people, it's a math equation. Okay. So let me make that big. Okay. I don't think that works. So I'm going to do the best that I can to show you guys without making this crazy on the screen. Okay. Because this is, if you don't get this, okay, then there's no hope. Sorry. Because it's bad. It's really bad. Okay. Can we see that okay? If I just do that. No. All right. But we can see that number.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Medications are unaffordable for people and employers. And we know that the average older American uses 4.7 prescription drugs, which is costing $31,000 a year. Okay. About almost, it's about $6,600 a month. Now, as an employer, 28% of the employer's total healthcare costs are spent on pharmaceuticals. It's not a model that works at all. And so the cost of my misdiagnosis, and most people, I think, know that I was misdiagnosed, put on 17 medications. I think it was actually 19, but for this space, we'll just say it was 17. So it was costing almost $24,000 a month. Let's not include the sick days, right? Or almost $286,000 a year, just over $286,000 a year. Now, I want to make something really crystal clear. The last job I had, and just about every job I ever had, I was always the number one performer. So, but the last job I had, I did more than my entire team combined in financial services. My team included Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana, financial services, investments. I did more than my entire team combined people. But I'm not affordable. I'm still not affordable because I'm costing this bank, and most banks are self-insured. I'm costing them $287,000 a year, $286,000 a year. It doesn't work. And let that sit there, mic drop. Okay, we're done with that. Not affordable. Our current system doesn't work. You can't work within the current system and expect it to work. You have to create your own system called food.
Well, and talking about our topic of mindset reset, as an employer, if you can shift if you can shift your mindset from scarcity and lack, which says, oh, I can't afford to bring someone in to, talk about health, or I can't afford a a health program for my employees.
You can't not afford it.
Exactly. If you can shift that to understand that when you do that, you're actually saving yourself money. You know, you have to spend money to make money. It's that thing. You are going to be saving yourself so much money.
Let me show you how much
educating your people.
Wait, let's just do some math. I know you like math. You have a corporate background too, right?
I hate math.
Okay, I
really don't like it.
I love math. Math tells a story, right? Math is amazing to me. So a statin drug on average will cost anywhere from $4 to $476 a month. And it causes things like depression, anxiety. It causes your muscles to tear. And it also causes diabetes. Okay. Or you can get a half a pound of Brazil nuts for $9. And you'll plummet your cholesterol levels by 20 points by taking 4 nuts a month, and no more than 4 nuts a month, because selenium, when you take too much selenium, can actually be toxic for you, right? Food is your medicine. So I'm trying to this is an easy, this is easy math. And then for those who have depression, right? Anxiety, PubMed study, lavender essential oil is going to cost you with the veggie cap, because I don't like to take them with, I don't like to take it in tea or whatever, or, under the tongue. I like getting it into the gut. And plus I don't like the taste, but lavender essential oil, $11 a month. And it actually helps you heal yourself. Or you can take a drug, and it could cost you up to $620 a month. People, this is not rocket science. And so you want to know that if you have a belief system that says you're not allowed to take a plant, you better do the research on it, because that was the last bullshit thing I heard. There was a gentleman who's like, well, I don't know if I should take lavender. What's the research on it? I said, what's the research on the drug? Did you do the research on the drug that doctor just gave you? Well, no. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, not to mention the cost of it, but the side effects of the drug that is being ingested. I mean, they have that person at the end of the commercials that talks real fast for a reason. He's telling you all of the things that could happen. And the reason they know that they could happen is that they did happen.
Oops, you mean it's reality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they say death is a possible side effect, guess what? It's because somebody died from it. Now, do people die from taking the wrong amount of plants? I am sure. So
but not as often.
You have to be smart. But which would you rather? Which would you rather? Something that is widely known for having side effects, or possibly just taking less of a plant, or again, just what Jodi was saying. Do your research. No matter what you're putting in your body, do your research.
Okay, Fagla is going nuts. So she has a message. Sorry. I just can't stop her. What is your message now? Okay, you really want me to say that? I don't think that I could. All right. She goes, call my mommy now. Call my mommy now. And she says, take control of your health. Stop making excuses for what's going on, and trust in God, and and believe in yourself, and that your body's a master healing machine. She goes, but stop lying to yourself. She says, you innately, well, I don't know who she's talking to. She goes, there's someone who's listening. She says, you innately know that you're doing the wrong thing, and you're making excuses for not being in action in your life. And she goes, and call my mother now. And you know who she is. And she goes, you've met her. You need to do this, and stop Stop wasting time. Wow, she's being aggressive. Good girl, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
We match each other. You saw she calmed down when I started speaking her truth.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because she's like all calm now.
Yeah.
Damn, girlfriend. Yeah, she's kind of angry, whatever this is. Like, I feel her anger about it. There's someone who's listening to this show who's been putting off making the change, and she's like, get to action now. It's like, stop it. She's kind of annoyed with all the excuses.
Mm.
Wow. I get it. So
Humans we are brilliant at making excuses and justifying things and, procrastinating or having a ton of reasons why or why not. I mean, it's like what we were talking about toward the beginning of the show, like you were pointing out that some people's automatic go-to is no.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They're called ants, automatic negative thoughts. Coined by Dr. Even. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that is you, sounds like you need a mindset reset of opening your mind to the possibility of something different, because clearly what you're doing now is not working.
Mm-mm.
So why are you going to continue doing something over and over and over that does not work?
Right.
When there are a plethora of options, and healthy ones at that.
Yeah, I mean, and I only mentioned 2, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I handled depression and cholesterol in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anxiety too, because lavender is used for depression, anxiety. You can use it for pain, you can use it for bug bites. I mean, like when people start connecting the dots that one plant can do like 15 million things, I'm saying.
But again, do your research. I was talking to someone last week who knows 2 different people that are supposedly allergic to lavender. Now, we can talk about all, the reasons why they might be allergic, but sure, there are some things that might not work for your body, just like we were talking about vegetarianism. Your blood type might not be one that is going to respond well to not eating, animal-based meats or, proteins. Do your research. Just because it's right for me and it works for me and I didn't lose a single pound. I mean, because that's what, a lot of people were concerned about with me. Oh, we just want to make sure you don't lose a bunch of weight. Well, I didn't need meat. I don't need it. So I never lost a single pound by not eating it. It doesn't affect me in that way.
And in contrast, when I had 135 food sensitivities, most of them were plants, and I ate almost all meat to lose 100 pounds.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and that would not have worked for me, but it worked for you. So,
however, today my meat consumption is about 5 to 10%, and mostly plants. Mm-hmm. But to regain my health, I had to do meat because that's what my body needed at that point in time. And that's why I don't judge. Because what if?
I don't either.
Like what if?
Yep.
Mama Joy says, woo, wow, that's not rocket science, nor the commercials. I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
I think we all have heard the commercials and thought, I don't know that I'd want to take that.
So I don't really watch TV anymore. And when I was watching,
I don't even have TV. So yeah.
yeah. And when I was watching a movie one day, they did have on, I think it was Amazon Prime, they had the drug commercials because, Amazon is now into drugs too. And so I'm like, I don't need to hear this. It's toxic. It makes me sad, But I want to talk about one other thing about shifting mindset, right? Oh, Mama Joy has something else to say. She says, Michelle, thank you. I never thought of the reality of the statements if they may cause death, damage, and nerves. That they know this could happen because it did. Thank you. You saved someone's life. Yeah, you did. I make assumptions, Mama Joy. I really do. I assume that people understand if they're saying that is, but Michelle's better at that than me. Like she remembers to point out the obvious that I'm saying it's obvious, right? But I sometimes make assumptions, and that's part of the 4 agreements. You're not supposed to make assumptions, but I still do.
I get that from my my former life of being in real estate, where our contracts, if it was in the contract, it was because it actually has happened. And so my brain just goes there. It's like, oh, if they wrote about it, it's because they had the experience and then had to write a new contract because it actually happened.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's brilliant. So I want to talk about shifting mindset. One other thing. See that beautiful bruise? We're on day 20. Okay.
That's lovely bruise.
20, but it's a broken wrist. Day 20. Oh, are you seeing my hand move? Broken wrist. Cancel, cancel, cancel. So guys, I was moving my hand like this on day 8. I had broken the ulna in 4 places. The orthopedic surgeon keeps on telling me it takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal a broken bone. But apparently I don't have that mindset. Otherwise, this hand would not be working. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you have to choose what you want in life and make it unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Be unreasonable.
Yep.
Expect more. Expect greatness. Expect miracles. Yes. And guess what you'll get? More greatness and miracles.
Yep. It makes me think of, you hear about the mother whose child is trapped, under a car, and
oh yeah,
and in normal everyday circumstances, that mother wouldn't even be able to budge that car, not even nudge to make it move slightly. But when she sees her child trapped under the car, she says in her brain, and not consciously, probably, but she says, mind. I have to get my child out. How am I supposed to get my child out under this trapped car? Well, I have to freaking lift the car up. Mm-hmm. That's the only way it's going to happen. And so what does she do? She lifts the car up and gets her child out.
Yeah.
Would we think that was possible in normal circumstances? No. But
yeah, but if it comes between my birds, you'll see a whole nother girl show up. Me, exactly. Right? Like the Joan of Arc shows up, right? Warrior woman.
Yeah.
You when you choose, when something is so painful, like the loss of a child, the potential loss of a child or an animal or what have you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, you decide to think what works for you at that point in time. And it may not be based on your past reality.
Right. And any other time, it might seem unrealistic, but in the time, you're not thinking, is this realistic? Is this possible? You're not thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be our mindset all the time, because in those moments, we don't even consciously think about it, but we are limitless. That's what we're subconsciously telling ourselves. We're saying, I am limitless. I am powerful. I am limitless. I can lift this car because I have to. I have no other choice, right? So if we want to get ourselves healthy, if we want to cure ourselves from an illness, we have to shift our mindset to believe that we are limitless, that we have no other choice. This is what needs to be done. I need to heal myself. Therefore, I am going to heal myself.
Yeah.
And there is no other option.
So what if every day the phrase, I am limitless, was your standard operating procedure? What if that? We've got Michelle, or no, Chris. Mick Boogerd, broke or boogered?
I think she's saying boogered. So I don't know if it was just like messed up or whatever.
Okay, so let's just say boogered.
Yeah.
5 ribs. I made a cream from the essential oils. Lavender was part of the mixture, and within weeks' time, his ribs are on the mend. Mind blowing, right? And let me talk about the person who's got the food sensitivities to lavender. Petitgrain is a great alternative. Okay, it's the male form of lavender. There are so many alternatives for lavender. Chamomile, right? Depending on what you got. The other thing is I reverse food sensitivities in an hour. And I can do it remotely. And using a blend of different frequencies. So, like, here's the thing. You can be like Mick, right? And use oils and whatever and be on the mend and have his wife say it's mind-blowing, right? Which I'd like to make that more like that's what we should expect. What would that look like? Michelle? Hold on a second. I'm called to remove belief systems together, like for people that want it. You want to do this with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So people, here's your gift. Here's your Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. Here's your gift. I'm going to change the banner.
And I'm being called to say one thing before we do this.
Yep.
Before there were pharmaceuticals, there were plants. So people that have a hard time believing that, because Mick started to mend because he believed. There has to be a belief there too.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
absolutely.
Because here's the thing, you can take a drug, you can take a pharmaceutical, and if you don't believe that it's going to take care of the symptom, it won't. But so often we are programmed in America to think, oh, I'm sick, I have to take a drug and then I'll be well. And on the surface, the symptoms are gone. Now, does it cure you? Normally, no, but you start to feel better because the symptoms are masked because you believed it, right? So there is also that piece in the plant medicine as well. Again, before there were pharmaceuticals, the only way that was available to cure anything was plants and, minerals and dirt and those types of things from the earth. So what it would look like is going back to the basics, going back to
the roots. Yeah, back to the roots.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
so,
and I want I love
feeling people are like, no, that can't work. We need this, we need that. No, we actually don't, because we never did have it. And guess what? We lived to be 200 years old.
Thank you. I want to tell you about science for a moment, just to reinforce what you're saying. After I broke my wrist, I got an email, probably same message from 5 different companies, because everyone's like, see, I told you so, right? What we know is that when you take an NSAID, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug like ibuprofen, it actually extends. Yes, there's more science in what I'm going to share, but I'm going to tell you that it does stop the inflammation, but it also stops the healing process, literally, and extends the healing process 6 to 8 times, which is why it normally takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal an arm. I did it in 18 days. So 8 days, 90% of the bone was healed. I get the x-ray on Thursday. It's going to be 100% healed. Now, as far as the strength of the bone, Spirit's telling me it's like 80% as strong as it should be. So it does still work. But I mean, I've never taken any drug for this. I took turmeric and acetylcysteine, both anti-inflammatories. I'm not prescribing. And nor was I prescribing earlier, by the way, just, in case anybody's curious. And, you don't have to pick up the dice. You don't have to live in someone else's reality. And people are going to get pissed off at you when you decide to make this change, and you need to be okay with that. They're going to be pissed. They want the old form of you because that's what they're comfortable with. Okay.
And their fear is bigger because, like, if you, let's just say you have a loved one and you have a very strong belief around what's going to heal them.
Yeah.
You are going to want them to do that because you want them healed. But we have to understand, again, not everybody's on the same journey. And if they choose differently, that's their choice.
Yes, right. Let people be where they're at. Some are here to teach us lessons in different ways. You got to let them do that. You can't bully them. Chris says frankincense is a great anti-inflammatory. Absolutely. So I put that on topically every morning. I also use peppermint. It heals bones. Ginger, it heals bones. Milk thistle, it heals bones. I mean, I don't have the whole list, but I've been using it. And I didn't even know there was an oil that could heal bones, or that there was a herb that could heal bones. I'm like, really? Okay. Thank you, Jesus, for teaching me this too. Okay. So, all right. So I'd like to, we've got 6 minutes. I want to bring this in. We're going to clear records. And so for those that want to receive this, this is for you. If you don't want to receive this, you don't have to worry. You won't. Don't worry. You are in a safe place. Okay, so I'm going to bring in all of our spiritual team, and Fagla's spiritual team, and Tinkerbell's spiritual team, and the entire lineage. Okay, thank you. Infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude, infinite love and gratitude. And so we want to access the Akashic records. for those who choose. We don't want to impose. For those that choose. Do the all clear protocol on the belief system that drugs heal. All clear protocol on the belief system that we heal slowly. All clear protocol on the belief system that I cannot heal. Whoa. Oh. All clear protocol on my body fails me. What else? All clear protocol that toxins are helping me. Do you have things you want to add to that, Michelle? There's stuff coming in.
That clearing the belief system that science is proven and effective for my body.
All clear protocol. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank yous. Infinite love and gratitude. Okay, I want to do the replace now. Replace all that with my body's a master healing machine. Nature is here to help me and heal me through God or higher source. Replace with my body is made by God and it is healed by God. What else you want to replace it with, Michelle?
I am powerful. I can heal myself.
When I need to heal, replace with when I need to heal. It's simply a lesson to grow my mind, body, and spirit. And I want to put an imprint on everyone's mind.
I am divinely guided.
I am divinely guided. Amen, amen, amen. And here's an imprint. If there's something that you see and it is toxic, your mind will now imprint a skull and crossbones on that item so that you are aware not to consume it in any shape or form. Oh, well, that was heavy. If you don't want to receive it, you don't have to. If you want to receive it, that's awesome. It's theirs for you. So complete. I'm complete on mine. Michelle, do you have anything to add for that?
Alternatively, if something is toxic for me, I will not be drawn to it. I will be repelled from it.
90 seconds.
Amen, amen, amen. So be it, so be it, so be it. And so it is. Anything else you want to add to that?
I'm complete.
I'm complete too. So we're sealing this with the Christ white light, Saint Germain's violet flame. And I want to wrap it up with trees. I laugh because these trees are foundational. And so I want to give everyone foundation. So I wrap it up with trees, Christ white light, Saint Germain's violet flame.
A good root system. That's good.
Good root system. All right. We have a couple comments here I'd like to read. Thank you, Michelle. I'm grateful.
Yes, yes.
Mama Joy says, belief systems, ladies, you're setting the concept of belief systems free because belief has been a product of or related to religion. Belief was fixed, had its own circle, space, and place. Not true. Thank you, Mama Joy.
Amen. Yes.
Zelda says, thanks for this protocol as we continue the healing process. Awesome show, ladies. Thanks for the mindset reset. We love you, Zelda. Mama Joy says, I'm divinely guided on all levels of my life. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you back. Thank you all back. And Chris says, Jesus is in my head saying, you too can do these things and greater. Thank you, ladies. Oh, yes. I have chills all over my body. So you guys are all able to do this on your own. And Michelle and I, we can teach anybody who wants to learn about this and help you, guide you, empower you to do this on your own. You do not need to be tethered to anyone other than yourself and God.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And Zelda says, heading to the trees now. Yay. All right. So I want to send divinely guided love and light to everyone. We're so grateful that you decided to share your morning with us. And, anything you want to add to that? I probably should just make sure people know how to do this. 1 second. So we want that. We want there. Okay. People, reach out to us, connect with us. Be the best version of yourself today and every day. Mwah. Love you all.
Bye, everyone.